HITZ, breaking in the greatest. Today, I'm joined by Franceska Sparkles, Miss Washington, D.C. herself. Look at the nails. Okay, she came ready.
I'm super excited to be here with you guys. I've traveled here from Washington, D.C. I'm Miss Corporate Washington, D.C., so there's a slight difference. Miss Corporate Washington, D.C. is sister pageant to Miss Corporate, Miss Corporate America is sister pageant to Miss America. So we, do things a little different in our pageant. We definitely do a lot of, I need to be I'm sorry. So we do a lot of working with women from Forbes and that are in a lot of different high-end positions and doing a lot of charitable things in the community. So I'm really excited to represent Washington, D.C.
Excellent. And from what I know of, you involved in politics a little bit because that's kind of like,
what we do, our arena.
Right.
Yes, so I'm very much involved. I go to a lot of different political functions, kind of like, sometimes people don't really compute a lot of pageantry, but when you become Miss Maryland or Miss DC or any other states, you're now, kind of like the lady for that state. So you tend to go to a lot of the different functions that the state may have or a lot of the different city council meetings.
So tell me about PMP.
Yes.
Partners, not projects.
Yeah, so that's what got me my title as Miss Corporate Washington, D.C. Actually, you have to have an organization of your own, and so I'm really excited about that. Partners, Not Projects is my personal organization, and we partner with different community outlets to do a variety of things, youth services, elderly services, and so my two big main charities is foster care. We try to make sure that we deliver baskets, like love baskets, whether it's underwear, bras, socks, pads, things like that, hygiene items to foster care children. And then we also like to worry about the fundamental things, educational things that they need as well, bringing them books of financial literacy, real estate, things of that nature, so they can be better prepared as entrepreneurs as they enter out into the society. And then on the flip side of that, we like to also deal with those that are ill, like at MedStar and Johns Hopkins, by delivering those women and gentlemen and transgenders their wigs to make sure that while they're suffering with hair loss, they are definitely comforted by some beauty items such as hair care.
Cool. So this is something you do year-round?
Yes, for year-round. So you can check us out on our website, official P as in Paul and as in Nancy, P as in Paul again.com.
Yeah, I did notice, I did a little research on you myself. I noticed that you were collecting wigs and all that great stuff. And I felt like that was, that was passionate. Being that you're Miss Washington, D.C., you know the value of, your upkeep and all that stuff. So I totally understood the drive behind that.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Thank
you. Also, you do, I know outside of you running for adult pageants, do you also like school or groom other adults to be in your position?
Yes, well, as I got my start when I was younger, I was a debutante. So debutantes are partnered with male beaux, and so you kind of walk underneath an arch into adulthood. And so in my local community, I partner with Maryland National Park and Planning Commission to be a coach over there, an etiquette coach, and then also we plan on having a big ball, me and a friend of mine, in San Antonio next year.
Cool.
Yeah, so that excites me to see young ladies teaching them to cross their legs, learn what forks to, if you go to an elegant restaurant with a tablecloth, I'm like start from the outside and work your way in. So I find much pleasure in teaching these ladies now, these young women to be ladies, because it's kind of rare. It's harder in our community. When I was younger, I always had my floppy hats. My mother made me look like Mary Poppins from a small age, she found delight in that. And just making sure that I always wore tissue white to church, and the dresses had to be like ankle or at least past the knee, so I didn't have to wear a scarf. And so sometimes, some gentlemen, if I go out, they might find that to be a little humorous, but I enjoy being a lady. I think it's rare.
That's awesome, because people lose the sight of, women etiquette, because everybody's so caught up in being a bad bee.
Yes, and I find nothing entertaining about that.
Right.
I enjoy myself, when I go out, but it's such a woman of rare distinction now, when I sit amongst women that have made it to 50 and 60, they can tell you something. Tell you about keeping a man, tell you about, grooming standards, tell you about cooking, the essence of, we get caught up in being women, but what about being a virtuous woman? One that you can feel good about, being a leader. The real Coretta Scott, yes. Where are the Coretta Scott Kings and the Rosa Parks and, you know, the Maya Angelou's, you know, the Diana Rosses, the Debbie Allens, the women that are kind of becoming extinct.
Right. We have definitely lost touch with that. I can definitely agree. So what's your 2022 year? What are 2022 plans? You've done so much this year. I don't know what else is left to do.
Oh, wow. I have a big reveal for next year. I'm going to be opening up an academy. So,
Etiquette Academy?
No, a school, an entire school. So I'm very excited about that. I've partnered with some judges, lawyers, superintendents, and we're coming out strong. So that's the goal. So I have to kind of retreat myself for now. I have to get a lot of foster care training and different things so that way my school and my academy can flourish. You know, kind of like when you go to the nail salon, there's always a person in the front that has all the licensures. So that's, you know, I have to go become that with my team.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What age group are you targeting?
High school.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh,
so
God bless your heart.
Yes, I need them.
They need you too.
Yes, that's the age group, you know, as we go out, that's the age group that's falling behind, that's the dropout rate, you know, and it's that time that you really need to learn about financial literacy. That's the time that you need to discover. People just want to send you into college undecided. That is so foolish. You know, it's the most foolish thing to me. It's a waste of money. And, you know, I just think that with the right team of black excellence, you can definitely kind of narrow down like, oh, wow, you like to dance, so you want to be a choreographer. Oh, you know, there's so many ways for you to discover if somebody wants to be in education or if there's a need for orthodontics right now, you know, in dentistry. And it's like you really, as an educator, I think it's our job. It takes a village. So it's like if you see a child playing around with the Rubik's Cubes or, you know, being fidgety in that way, it's like it's our job to kind of direct them into the right sciences and tech programs that will help them flourish. But unfortunately, we really don't recognize when I have children of my own, and I always like to know if the teachers are trained in mental health. You know, different traumas children experience, whether it's divorces, whether it's financial struggles within the home. It's so important that if somebody is catching, we have too many fallen children, too many murders. You know, it's been over like 356 murders in Baltimore area, you know, here recently, and it's an outpour, you know, same in Atlanta. And I just find that really strange, you know, for no one to be taking our lives as seriously as we should now. Everything is, you know, becoming a game when we look at, everything is becoming a game, you know, when we take into consideration these bullets that are coming out of guns. It's kind of like, oh, you know, they're not real, but it's like parents are losing their children, sisters are losing their brothers, and vice versa.
Do you think it stems from the single parent household? Meaning like, okay, these single parents, they don't really have the time to dedicate to these children individually. They're working 2-3 jobs, and these kids are like literally raising themselves at this point.
At this point, yes.
So, like, you know, that contributes a lot to it too, I think, right?
Yes, I do, and I don't think it has anything to do with bracket of finance. Mm-hmm. I think that the more upper, middle, and lower class, or what have you, I think the higher you are, the less the time and attention you actually would spend with your child if you are in a space of talking about money. Because it costs, if you have a huge home, you have to pay for that. You know what I mean? So you have to go and make money. And if you're a single parent, your child is still left, you know, alone. And so at least in, I guess, in a lower poverty-stricken community, they have more friends, more playmates, outside resources. But then in those circumstances, you can kind of get into a lot of things a lot faster, you know. So I've seen it on both ends, you know. So I don't like to put my hands on things that I don't want to be involved in. So if I'm going to talk about the community issue, I want to go in and try to be a part of the solution. Yeah. That's how I'm hoping I can.
That's awesome.
There'll be some change.
And understanding the solution is totally understanding the problem too. So
yes.
Really dissect it.
Yes, and a large part of, you know, our congregation or because it's a Christian academy, a large part of our ministry will be targeting, you know, underprivileged and foster care youth, because I think that people don't pay enough attention to the adults, the young adults that are going to be coming into your life. You know, like once they leave those programs, it's like if you haven't taught them survival, You know, you're just saying, okay, you're free, you can leave now. Even no one's, keeping you here with these parents anymore. Then now you've turned over children and they have no support system, no parents that they're connected to. They don't have a reason to love is what keeps you balanced. You know what I mean? The need of knowing that someone is caring, you're waking up every day and you have a why. You know, why am I doing this? Is it for my child? Is it, my mother has standards for me? Do I have a good friend or a male friend or a girlfriend? Somebody is expecting something, or it's in contest, or we can't just acknowledge someone else's beauty and glory and shine. I come and serve you in your moments of when you have something going on, and you come and serve me. I enjoy, like, when I'm here from DC, I have to hurry up and get back Sunday morning. I can't wait to serve my pastor and get her water ready for her. I love seeing her be in her vision and her light and her glory as she, serves the congregation. And then if you want servants or you want somebody to serve you and do your hair, then you pray and you ask God that He brings that to you in your season when you're ready. But a lot of times we're not good leaders, and we want what we don't even understand the work that it takes to get to where you're going. Like I look as we prepare to go over to make relationships with Spelman and Morehouse, and I'm like, wow, like to become an architect. Though some people deserve the glory that they get, longevity, but we look at our colleagues and we'll say, well, wow, how did they become a doctor, or how did they become a judge? Do you know their journey? Do you know what I mean? But we covet things in the African American community so frequently, but we enjoy the cars, we enjoy seeing the large homes, but do you want to do what it takes? It's times where at Thanksgiving I've watched so many people eat and I ate boiled eggs because I knew I had a pageant. I knew what the standard of what I needed, my job requirement was, Yeah, the discipline. So, it's being a community figure. I can't be caught doing certain things. I can't, there's times I might be at the same drive-thru as the next person that might have bad service. But I have to monitor and will in what I say, because what if there's times I have been recognized out somewhere, or, changed out a hairstyle, and I'm like, I just want to get the clip, I just want to have a good time. I can't do that now, because now I have a certain amount of leadership that I have to maintain. I have to govern what I put on my pages now, and yeah, people are watching. Yeah, you're becoming a role model, and I know I hear different celebrities may say that role model starts at home. Role model starts when you become an adult, because kids are watching you. I mean, if the child outside wants to throw basketball just like you do. You know what I mean? They want to be a ballet dancer just like you do. And if you are not acting like a role model, we all should take responsibility for little Jimmy on the corner getting shot, because somebody could have took his hand and, say, hey, what, I noticed that his mom works late shift, so, I'll see to it that he makes it to the door at least and get in safely.
The village is not showing up.
The village is not showing up for nobody nowadays. It's just like, I'm going to turn the other cheek. But you don't see that in, the Asian community. You don't see that in the African community, the Spanish community. They can all live in, I've done it, stayed in the house and have roommates, and they move out when they're ready and they purchase. They don't go and, they say we're supposed to be the lender and not the borrower. But we put ourselves in borrowing situations for what? Why? Why are you humiliated to say that I'm staying in a house that has 6 bedrooms, we all live there until we move out and we have a paid off car, a paid off house. We're just so anxious in our community to take on debt.
Right. Right. And I think we all just living for a look too. Yeah. Do you think it stems back from the racism days where little we were pinned against each other, okay, if someone doesn't snitch, this person's dying, or you think it stems back from that? Is this still why we're like this? Because I still don't understand why are we so corrupt to each other.
I would like to believe that in a conscious mindset that it could stem back to slavery, but I think that this is, to answer that direct, if the goal was to put us where we are today, they achieved their purpose. Because if you can mess with someone's mindset, you know what I mean? Like the majority of the slaves and stuff are passed on already. We're in 2 generations later. How is they affected the mindset for generations to come? You know, whether it's I want to stay on a certain financial bracket. Even I have conversations, we deal with women also on partnership projects that's in domestic violence situations, or they have to file for, daycare vouchers. And they'll say, hey, you have to put your child's father on child support. My kids' dads aren't on child support. They were, but as I continue to grow and understand consciousness, how can you want to be free on your side but put someone else's child in captivity in another? God will handle all things, and you'll continue to have abundance as you raise your level of consciousness. But as we continue, or as women, to say when things aren't going our way, then we're going to execute our rights as women to have things done our way. We're not acting like ladies. Men will stand up and be more men, be better men, as we continue to groom better sons. You get what I mean? And better daughters. It'll come if what my mother used to tell me when I used to just desire. We all have the desire to be confrontational. Like, well, somebody did something to me, somebody did something back to them. That tit for tat. When that goes away, it's your ego. It's something in our ego as Black people. And it's like, and maybe it's our pride where we feel like we've been through enough. And I just have to let someone know what they did to me. But it's okay. That idea of success truly is the best revenge. That Beyonce song, best revenge is your paper. It really is. You really free yourself when you relinquish that anger, whatever, you feel an enemy or enemy did. Because the white man, quote unquote, in slavery, didn't do that to you because you didn't pick cotton. So it has to be passed down in your mindset, Because none of us have been whiplashed, or tied to anything. I mean, that's not humorous, but we have not been hung by nooses. We have not, most of us have not gone outside and had to see our uncles and aunts and mothers hung on trees. So why do we still have the mindset of being wicked to one another? Or putting, saying only light-skinned women are this, and only darker women are this, and only, AKA women are this, and Delta women are that. It's very odd. So it has to be conscious, something that's in our consciousness. That Willie Lynch is in our mind. What is wrong with your mind? Right. And I've had to check my own mind.
Yeah, me too. I had to, because we just so combative. See, we're so angry.
Yeah, angry. Angry at everybody. Be angry at the stoplight. You push bump. Maybe the person in front of you, maybe their car has broken down. I mean, I just try so hard to be positive, because I really think that the key, if you got to sit down with Oprah, well, the key to her success truly have just been discipline. If you, a million and one things come to you within your day, but hey, make sure you only use emergencies and real emergencies. Like my daughter, she broke her phone, I guess, and I was upset about it. And I knew immediately, come on, I have to get her another iPhone. But why do I have to get her another iPhone? Why can't I get her a track phone? Because the phone, its purpose is to call, right? Take it back to basics. But in her mind, you know what I'm saying? She's already trained my mind. Like, whatever you train your mind to think, my mind immediately thought, I have to go get her another iPhone. You know what I mean? But I go back to that original point. That could have stumbled my day. That could have made me upset, or I could have got angry. Things are going to happen, in your day, and you just kind of have to be like, oh, well, that happened. It's about perspective. That's the best way. It's your perspective.
True.
Is the glass half empty or full?
Right. We like to see it half full.
Mm-hmm. Your relationship might not be, you might have had a bad argument, because how is it that people are able to make you so angry by their action? I think the best things that I've learned, even in pageantry, is recognizing that sometimes people are going to be late, sometimes people are going to be on time, sometimes people are going to not like your appearance, they're not going to like the way you dress, your talk, your accent. It's constant. If you constantly concern yourself about what someone thinks about you,
you never leave your house.
You can never leave your house, because people are just so cool. You can be so friendly, and still they'll find a reason. Even in the interview today,
your happiness would irk them.
They get irked because you're happy. Because somebody get irked because you're laughing.
Right, exactly. That bothers you.
And that's so honest. Yeah.
Just talk about here. So Miss Washington, D.C. I'm sorry, I got to bring back attention to the nails.
Yes.
I love them.
Thank you.
I love them. Sparkles.
Sparkles, yes. So these are my holiday nails, and my lovely she's so beautiful, so kind, and so talented. And she does a lot of influencers' nails back in Washington, D.C., and she's here actually doing nails and being awesome. So I know you can be here with me, but I wanted to make sure that I put my beautiful sparkles, because she actually did the story of these nails. She did a lovely Christmas tree and ornaments, but still, she knows I love glare and flare. So late at night, she allowed me to come back. She took off all of her designs and she put sparkles on here for me. And I just want to know how much I appreciate her for knowing that I'm a diva sometimes deep down inside and catering to my diva ways. I love you, girl.
Cheers to sister.
Cheers, yes. So Talking Tips _ on Instagram is her. Talking Tips.
Good job, Talking Tips. I love it.
Thank you. Yes, girl.
Okay, so what can we look forward to? I think I asked you that already, but
yes.
I just want to get an idea. 2022, you got the school coming.
Yes.
Any more pageants?
Yes, so my pageant, is in June, and I believe we go to Puerto Rico in May, and I'll be doing a debutante ball. I'm just going to be like out, just doing more conventions, trying to get more into understanding mental health. I think next year should be the year that everyone, especially people of color, take this time to put ourselves on the next level up. You know, like stop being in the same circles that make us feel comfortable. Stretch ourselves, travel. You know, if we don't have passports, go out and get passports and allow ourselves to be excited about growth. Step outside the box. How can you ask for investments and, money if the people that you're around are in the same tax bracket as you? I would like to be the poorest amongst my friends. Like $50 might be much for our dinner, or $100 might be much for our dinner. Let's go somewhere where people are giving donations of $50,000, donations of $1 million. That kind of money is in circulation. So instead of us consider, I'm donating to Toys for Tot and it cost me $250. Okay, well somebody donated $250,000 to Toys for Tot and they didn't even look twice. So let's aim to our level of consciousness to say, I'm gonna go find me some new friends that enjoy teaching. And in this season, I had to ask, I had so much on my plate, and God sent me some great people that could help me more with the direction of my website and direction of architecture and things that I don't have the time to search and do that someone else's level of expertise. So find people that pour into you. That's to summarize that. The way that you pour into them. If you're creative, find you someone that brings the paper. You're not bringing everything. Partners Not Projects is an element in a space where people to recognize that be a partner. And we started off dealing with like domestic violence relationships and talking about the rules of dating and the red flags. So we have a book on Amazon, Books A Million, and Barnes & Noble. That's called Partners Not Projects, a red flag self-help book. Me and Star, my co-author, wrote that book to kind of aid women, but also women can utilize it as well to see the inconsistencies in relationships and the red flags up front. But use it in everything you do. If you recognize that in a partnership at work, or you recognize that in a friend, or an associate you just met, if you see something, let your discernment be, okay, well, I don't think I'm going to invest so much time into somebody who I throw a huge party for you, but when my birthday comes, I get a card. That's not going to